Year 7. I wanted to speak to you today to welcome you back after your half-term break. Are you all excited to be back? I'll take that as a resounding yes, because we all know what happens in holidays. You're 3 days in, you get bored, you think, I wish I was back at school learning. It's much better there. I'm sure that's exactly what's happened for you all. I particularly wanted to speak to you today, so no apologies for bringing you out in less than 10 minutes. I did want to serve the rest of the assembly schedules because some really important assemblies come up on things like remembrance and safety and well-being. So I wanted to speak to you today on the first day back and welcome you. And there's a couple of things I want to do. I want to reflect on the half-term we've had, on the time we've had leading up to that little break. And then I want to talk about my expectations moving forwards, where I think we can go as a school and as a year. I'm going to do that by talking through our 3 core values: resilience, respect, and integrity. Okay? I'm sure you know them by now. You'll certainly get to hear me talk about them by the time you leave King's Meadow. But these 3, I want us to start by reflecting on the half term, on where we've got to and what we've done. So I'll talk about resilience to start with. So, you hopefully just had probably your most difficult, your most challenging half term of your educational career. 7 or 8 years you've been in education now, and it should step up each year, get that little bit more difficult. Step into big school. We've got the new things to think about, all the different teachers having to move to different classrooms, subjects, very different way of doing them rather than all being mixed together. You should have found that quite challenging. I'm hoping you have. I hope you think that was quite hard, that actually. Because if we make things challenging for you, because we really respect you, and we really believe that you're capable and that you're able, just pause while this passes in. So quietly and so settled. I've just started reflecting on this half term. I'm just talking about the fact that this should have been probably your most challenging half term that you've had in school, particularly difficult. That's because we expect you to step up. I don't know if you realise this, but you've just done the longest half term you're going to do this year. It was 8 weeks, and that's the longest. This next one coming up 7. And then after that, it all goes a bit weird around Easter, but there is no half term longer. So even though you've only done 1 of 6 half terms, you've done more than you will in any of the others. That's great. Think how far through your school you've got. And also, you've done your first set of sort of key assessments, your first sort of in-class assessments that will give you some baselines, some ideas of what it is you need to learn, how well you're doing already, and how much further you've got to go. And I come around, like you see me in your classrooms a lot, I pop in, and I saw the effort you were putting in. I saw quite a lot of you sitting there doing your English test, or your maths test, or your science. And I saw the effort you put in, so you've got a really good idea of where you are now and what you need to do better. So that's excellent. You've done all that this half term. You've been resilient. You've stepped up. Also want to talk about respect. I think you've worked really well with teachers to support behaviour. Now I'm talking about improving behaviour because I'm thinking about other year groups as well. But this year, behaviour in King's Meadow School, when we look at all the behaviour issues, if there's any behaviour points, if there's any problems, who's earning house points, we have just had the best half term we've had since I started here. And I've been here a little while, quite a few years. The behaviour's been good. Okay, I think we could improve, could still be better. But particularly your year group, year 7, I've been so impressed with how well you've settled in, how well you've got on, how well you've stepped up to our level of expectations. As a year group, you seem to be getting on very well with staff. You seem to take opportunities when you do something wrong. You take those opportunities to put it right, to restore your behaviour. I've been really impressed with you as a year group. I think behaviour levels are really, really very good. Would you agree, Miss Lowe? One of our
Really
pastoral.
quite impressive. Hopefully it can stay that way.
Really impressed. We've got a lovely atmosphere in school. I've been showing a lot of people around school this half term. So this half term we get a lot of parents. You have 6 parents, you might have done this last year, come round to have a look at the school. I've had the LA, that's the sort of government, the council, who like my boss have been coming to visit. I've invited other head teachers in to visit, so I've shown a lot of people around school. And every single one of them comment on this, the atmosphere that we have in school. The ethos of the school, that working environment, I see it when I walk into classrooms. I'd be so proud to see that. The way you behave, the way you focus, the way you engage, the atmosphere in the school means that you're doing everything you can to do well. And I've seen that this afternoon. And also the school environment, the buildings, your uniforms are lovely. The buildings are kept nice. We're respectful of our buildings, of our environment, of us. I don't know if they've seen, if you come through the bottom gates there, you'll have seen the new build. It's open now. Sixth form are in there today. In about 3 weeks' time, some of you might be going in there for some of your lessons, for things like PBL or geography. And you'll get a chance to see that. But what's really lovely, I went round over half term, I'll have a look around that building, and you walk from that brand new building to this building here, and there's barely any difference because the building here is so well maintained and you are so respectful of your environment. And that's lovely to be able to say that. I want to talk about integrity. Your own personal integrity. This year, this half term that I've just had, we've had the best attendance as a school that we've had since before COVID. More of you are putting that effort into being in school. So even when you wake up and you might think, oh, not that well, but I think I can manage it, you are. And I'm proud of that. We can still improve it further because every single day, every lesson matters. It's between you and year 11 as to who's the best attendance in school at the minute. It's close, and it's sort of changed between you, so you are that close. In fact, I think you might just have nipped it this half term. I think you might just have been the best. Keep doing that, because every day you're in school, every day you're trying hard, will actually make your sort of education life better and your future chances better. So really well done. The other sort of integrity, more involvement in after school and lunchtime clubs than we've ever seen. Sorry, since pre-COVID. We've got more lunchtime clubs than we had last year, than we had the year before. And some of the lunchtime clubs are full. We have to turn people away. So Mr. Hartman's just sent an email out this morning and asking if staff want to put on extra clubs of what to do with that after school. And that's great. That is you getting involved in the life of the school, in the community of Kings Meadow. And I'd love to see that. I'm hoping to be able to do more in things like the learning zone in the future as well, where we do more activities and things to be involved with. And I honestly think that you've been positive role models in Kings Meadow School. We had things like the open evening, had so many students coming in. You had your sort of settling in evening where you came in with your parents and your carers and you talked about your own learning and how that was going with your tutors. And I think you've made a really positive start. Okay? I think you are the best year 7 that we have in this school this year. I mean, you're the only year 7, but let's not, don't need to sort of point that out. But you really are doing very well. I want to think about moving forward. What have we got coming up? What are my expectations? So in terms of resilience, do you always try your hardest? When you're stuck, is your first reaction to clag your hand up and ask the teacher? Or is it to try and work your way through? When you've got a question and you don't know the answer and you think it might be wrong, do you answer it anyway? Because that's where learning happens. I think this might not be right, but I'm going to try. And you write it down anyway. That's resilience. Rather than leaving it out. Talk about integrity. You're the only one who knows inside your mind whether you've tried your hardest. When you bring in that piece of homework and you hand it to the teacher, do you really think that's the best I could do? I know I've tried my hardest. Or are you secretly thinking, well, maybe I could have done a bit more? When you got your key assessment results back, when you get pieces of classwork back that's marked, and you look at that mark, with your integrity, do you know what, I deserve that? That was really good. And that's the best I could do at the time. Or do you think, actually, I could have tried a bit harder? That's your integrity. Do you own up when you've made a mistake? Do you go, do you know what? done something wrong there, which is fine. We're all going to make mistakes, and that's why our behaviour policy allows that, our historical practice. Generally speaking, you do. But you don't want to be the one who's going, no, I didn't do that. When actually, no, you did. Might as well own up to it, show a bit of integrity, and then we move on. Are you dragging yourself into school? So even when you're not quite well, are you coming in? Let's say your attendance has been very good. Let's see if we can improve it further. We've shown that integrity. And lastly, respect. This is my big one. I think if you get respect right, you get everything right. If you respect yourself and those around you. So when we talk about respect, are you respectful in the community? So yes, in school, I'm really proud of how you behave in school and the respect you show. Do you do that on your way to and from school? I'm going to mention an incident that happened on Friday up on Margaret Lane. And some of you were involved in that, some of you sat in this room were up there. And what it was a bus, a scholars bus from a different school was coming past and it was stuck in traffic. And the students from that school opened the top windows and they squirted water through bottles and they shouted some really rude things. So actually quite disgusting comments that they shouted. So it wasn't us, this was the bus. Mr. Ferguson got in touch with our other school's head teacher. She's mortified that her students behaved in that way. And obviously there'll be some action taken. I really feel for her, for that head teacher. I hope that doesn't happen to me. So are we really thinking, to make sure that when we're out there, when we're wearing the King's Meadow uniform, when we're on the bus, when we're walking to and from school, that we make sure that we don't behave in that way, or we make sure that we are still respectful. Okay? Just be mindful of that, how you behave in the community. Do you treat other students well? Do you avoid name calling? Do you try to be respectful to one another? And also, and this is a big one for me, this is what I was hopefully trying to achieve here. When's the last time that you've just stopped for a second and thought, I'm really proud of myself? When's the last time that you boosted your own self-respect because you thought, that piece of work, I'm proud of that? Or that interaction I've just had with that member of staff, I'm really proud of that. When's the last time you did that? That's my big challenge to you. Try to take those opportunities. Think, you know what, I've done something I'm really proud of it. I'll show you that. That's my vision for the school. You've seen it before. I'm not going to read it out to you, but I'm just going to highlight a couple of bits that I think are really important to us. We as a school look to work with you in order to develop your character and your skills. So what that means is getting the best grades you can, but also your character has those core values. If you're respectful, if you have integrity, if you're resilient, and what that means is, in years to come when you leave King's Meadow School and you go off to be in life, you'll have everything you need to be successful, to enjoy success and to positively contribute. I think you, as a year group, have made a fabulous start. Those first 8 weeks, that first half term, I'm really proud of you. And I can honestly say, thinking about stepping back and reflecting, that I am proud to be head teacher at King's Meadow School. And I'm looking forward to many, 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 many more half terms when I can say that as well. That's my challenge to you. Keep up all the good work you're doing, and see if we can step it up even further as we move on to Christmas and beyond. Thank you very much. Year 7. Don't leave us out to that, don't they? Thank you. Miss, you want to